Yes, good people, welcome back to the Guitar Manifesto channel. Hope you're all doing well out there. So today we're going to be doing a bit of a setup on this Squier Contemporary Stratocaster that I bought a few months ago. I got this off Marketplace, pretty minty fresh condition. It's a 2022 and I paid £150 for it. I think the guy had it advertised for 200 quid. So yeah, I offered him 150, he accepted the offer, and it even come with a wiggle stick. But this is where I need to do a little setup on it. I want to do a full review of this, hopefully this week on the channel. So this factory special run model, I think they've discontinued it in this colour now, which is a vintage white. It's got a roasted maple neck, it's got a cool black headstock, it's got 3 single coil Alnico pickups with the middle pickup really close to the bridge pickup there. It's got a 2-point tremolo system. It's got some unique switching with series and parallel, and yeah, some weird combos. I won't get into too much detail on that today. I'll save it for the full review video. But yeah, it's even got the sculpted neck plate there, so you can get higher up on the frets. But yeah, it's a pretty cool guitar. So basically, on a Stratocaster guitar, I don't particularly like using the tremolo system. What I like to do is essentially hardtailing, which means decking the tremolo bridge plate completely flat to the body and stop all that wiggly goodness. So again, like I say, we'll get more detailed on the full review video, but for now we're just going to set this up, drop that bridge down, which means all the action's going to drop down, so I'm going to have to do a few adjustments. The strings on it, I don't know if they've been changed, but they seem pretty fresh. They're probably the originals. They feel like possibly 9s. Yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, let's start giving a little bit of a setup, and yeah, let's have a little run through of what needs doing. And you have to excuse my neighbour's dog, he's barking in the background. Apparently animal lovers, but they like to leave their dog barking in the garden all day. Yeah, each to their own. Right, so we need to get this back plate off. Okay, so that's the back plate off. Oh wow, it's even got like a copper claw on the back there. That's pretty mad. Full size block, got 3 springs in there. I'm actually curious to see what's under this little cover. The output socket on these is on the side of the body, a bit different to a normal Strat. Okay, alright. Okay, so it's just access for the output socket there. It's pretty snazzy. That's the output socket on the side. So on the front you've just got a volume and a tone control. Oh, nice. Nice QC from Squier there. Little split in the wood. I've done that hole a little bit close to the edge there. Alright, so what we need to do now is slacken the strings up a little bit, just to free up a bit of tension. Just to make it easier to loosen off these 2 screws on the bridge. And they are little Allen bolts on them. And I haven't got exactly the right size. It didn't come with the little toolkit you normally get with them. But I've got these star key bits which should do the job. So we just go a bit easy. Yeah, it's getting in okay. So we're going to completely screw the front of the tremolo to the body. Is it reverse thread? Is that going in? Oh no, that's right, yep. So once we got this front part completely lowered down, we should be able to me just see how low this goes down actually. Yeah, that's good. Right, so that's that completely lowered down. I have done a video hardtailing strats before. I'll put a link in the description. I did that about 6 or 7 years ago on a Fender Strat, a Mexican one. Okay, so now we've got them screws completely low as they'll go. The bridge plate is completely flat to the body, but once you start tuning the guitar up, that plate's going to want to lift up. So what we need to do, we've got a couple of options. First of all, we're going to put them screws in as far as they'll go, so that will put more tension on and try and keep this block bridge plate flat to the body. You can also add another 2 springs, so you'll have 5 springs in there, add a lot more tension. Now, one of the problems with strats and these springs, if you strum a chord hard and sort of stop, you can hear them springs vibrating. It actually comes through the amplifier. There is a few ways to do it. You can wrap them with some sort of material, stick some foam underneath, or back in the day, people used to stick toilet paper in there and just muffle that sound. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to go with a 3 spring setup, put them screws right in, and if there's still not enough tension on it, I will add another 2 springs. A lot of people say as well is once that's in, cut a little bit of wood just to wedge inside the block there. That's handy if you're playing guitar and in a live situation. So say you're playing on stage, one of your strings snap. If you haven't got that bit of wood in there, you'll lose a bit of tension and your guitar will go out of tune. So back in the day of me playing in bands, that's something I would have done, stuck a bit of wood in there, but because I play at home now and very rarely snap a string, I ain't bothered about that. So we're going to tighten these up as far as they'll go and then see how that works for us. That is, I must admit, the first copper claw I've ever seen on a guitar. That's pretty cool. It's getting a bit tight now. So obviously as we're moving that in, you're adding a lot more tension onto them springs. And it's best to work it from side to side. It just makes it a bit easier to tighten the screws up. And do get a good fitting screwdriver, because you can't round these screws off because they are very tight. Alright, I think that's probably about as far as I can go. I don't want to force it too much in case I split the wood there, but we should be okay. So yeah, that's let's have a quick look. The action's looking much better now. It was really high before. Let's just see if we've got any more movement. No, there. Completely done. So, as you can see now, that bridge plate is completely flat to the body. It does lift up a little bit at the front, but I think it's where the little dowels inside there, where the screws go into, I think they just sit a little bit higher on the body. But yeah, that should do us. Right, so what I'm going to do now is tune the guitar up and see if this back plate lifts up on us. You can generally tell with strats when you're tuning it up if it's worked or not, because once you tune it all up, once you start getting down the strings, the ones you did at the start will go back out of tune where it's lifting up. Let's go back to that first one. Yeah, let's drop down a little bit. Doesn't look like. Feel a little bit of movement in there, so actually I may stick another 2 springs in there just to be on the safe side. Right, so as I've added a bit more tension on, These are putting up a bit of a fight, but just make sure you get some good gripping pliers. Get it on like there, right in the corner there. Alright, that's it. There you go. There's 5 springs in there, so that ain't going nowhere. Okay, so now we've got 5 springs in. Let's try that again. And there's fighter jets and all sorts going overhead, but as I've tuned it up once, going back through, that is held tuned. So that is the tremolo, completely hardtailed. Nice. Okay, so I'm just going to tuck that out of the way, and now we know we are done on the underside. I'm going to put these back covers back on. There's even a little bit of shielding on the back of that little cover there. The small touches from Squier. Now we're going to check the neck relief, the string height, and have a quick go through the intonation. One other thing I want to say about these, a little preview, is they got jumbo frets and a graphite nut, which is pretty cool. I do like jumbo frets. Okay, so I've got it tuned back up. I'm just going to quickly check the string height just for, yes, miles. It is well low. So first thing we need to do is check neck relief. So what you need to do is put a capo on the first fret, and then the first fret where it meets the body, hold that one down, and then check the gap on the 8th fret from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string. I normally use these string rulers, and you need 0.03 millimeter gap on that 8th fret. As I've done millions of setups before, I can pretty much do this by feel, and that is pretty damn low. So we'll let's get the level on there. Yeah, she needs a little bit more of a tweak. Right one. There's a big one in that. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a little bit of a turn. A little bit more. So I think it's actually needed probably a whole turn. And always be mindful when you turn the truss rod will move before the wood, so let it sit a bit, because sometimes it takes a little while for the wood to catch up. But yeah, I think we're pretty much there, so I'm going to move on to the string height. So string height on the bass strings, I generally like 1.5 millimeters, and on the treble strings I like 1.25. Now this is a 12-inch radius fingerboard, so nice and low, that should play pretty darn good. So let me just check what it's on currently. Yeah, that's decked right out. So we definitely need to raise the saddles on this one. So on each saddle you've got 2 screws, so you raise them up together to make sure the saddle raises up and it's still nice and level in flush in line with the base of the tremolo plate. So I'm going to go for all them. Like I say, 1.5 millimeter on the bass strings, 1.25 millimeter on the treble strings. Right, so that's the string height all set. I just checked the intonation. It ain't actually too bad, just needs a little bit of a tweak. So basically what you do with intonation is, say the E string, play it open, and then your octave on the 12th fret, you need to make sure that's in tune as well as the open string. So keep tuning up that open string, keep checking that octave. You can adjust the saddle with the screw on the back of the bridge there, move it in or out, whatever you need to do, and then make sure that octave is in tune with the open string. Go for all 6 strings and that's that done. In terms of pickup height, this is pretty well balanced, so I think we're good to go. So I'm just going to give it a little plug in, just have a little quick run through it, make sure it plays okay, and yeah, she should be good to do a full review video. Okay, I think this is a bit of a dodgy cable. No, that's fine. That Fender one that I've had for about 10 years, I've used it in hundreds of videos on the channel, has finally decided to die, so I need to investigate that a little further. But these old Fender cables, yeah, they last years. I even gigged with that a lot as well. Like I say, there is some weird switching on these. It's like, let me actually get it up. So like I say, these have got some funky switching. So position 1, that is bridge and middle series hum cancelling. Position 2 is middle. Position 3 is middle and neck parallel. Position 4 is bridge, middle and neck, and then position 5 is neck. I'll get a bit more in depth on that on the next video. Let's see if it... Let's give it a bit of... Well, I think that'll do. We've got it all set up, hardtailed. Yeah, I'm quite happy how that plays now. It may need a little tweak again in the morning. I'll let it sit overnight. Sometimes they adjust themselves. It's very hot and humid at the minute and gets cold overnight at the moment in the UK. So yeah, I'll check on it again, and then hopefully this week I'll get a full review video done of this pretty damn awesome Squier Contemporary Stratocaster in a vintage white. That roasted maple neck is pretty darn nice to play. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, The Guitar Manifesto, and I'll catch you all soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Guitar Manifesto.